Saturday, May the 20th. All the proceeds of Rockin' Silly go toward the Western Reserve Land Conservancy's tree planting initiative to revitalize Cleveland as the forest city. All the tickets, all the info, jacobspavilion.com. A couple tickets here for Skinnerd in May. Good luck. Car 10. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show.
Sure, you could listen to another show, but then how would you find the puppies we've buried in boxes around the city? 100.7 WMMS.
35192 if you want to send a text. Hey, Jim Tews is here.
What's up?
Hi, Jim Tews.
Hi.
You might have seen Jim Tews many years ago on the Alan Cox Show comedy tour.
Yeah.
You might have been to one of his album recordings live. You might have seen him on... Well, you did Last Comic Standing, am I remembering correctly?
Yep.
You might have seen him on...
Louis?
You were on Louis.
I was on Louis.
Right. You might have read his book, Felines of New York.
Correct.
Right? Now in its 12th publication.
Close.
12th edition.
Second run.
Hey, second. That's pretty good,
pretty
though.
awesome.
I know.
You get any mailbox money for that still?
Well, no, but I get statements that show how much
close you are to getting mailbox money.
Yeah, how far I am from getting mailbox money.
Yeah.
But at this point, like, when you get in a publishing advance,
I was gonna say you're not still paying back.
you don't
the
have to pay it
advance,
back. So I just kind of laugh and I go, "Oh, Simon and Schuster, you fools!"
Yeah. Right.
You
Took them for a ride.
I mean, I hope to get them their money back.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right. So what else is
how far
going
away
on?
are they from
Yeah, how far?
recouping?
wow. I'm trying to think of a comparison. More money than I could pay back in 5 years of savings.
You got their money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Solid.
Let's say like it would probably be like a
Just give the hard numbers.
I honestly don't remember. It would be like
It's a lot of zeros.
It would be like a fixer-upper near the airport.
Got it.
Jim is doing one night tonight at Hilarities. This is a 7 o'clock show. We were talking about friends the other day, and Bill pointed out that you are arguably his oldest friend.
Yeah.
That I still keep
Probably.
in touch
That
with,
he
yeah.
still keeps in touch with.
I don't know what your childhood friends are like, but
I don't really talk with them all that much. So, like, I would say the ones that, like, I keep in touch because I had two very different lives, too.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
pre-mission and post-mission, I was a very different person. And so I just, I built a new whole, like, support system. And
You had to join a different gang.
Yep.
So what brings you to Cleveland for St. Patrick's Day Eve?
The weather.
Oh, of course. Listen,
actually
look
kinda nice out
outside.
today.
It is
It's
pretty nice.
balmy. You couldn't have done better than to get out of New York for a hot minute.
No. Yeah, well, that's what brought me here is to get out of New York for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Any hot minute I can grab to get out of New York, I'll grab.
Do you do the road much?
Probably I wouldn't say much by comparison of most. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that just a function of I don't really have to right now? I don't
Demand?
want. Well, I don't want to say demand because that's a sliding scale.
Right.
But is it also a function? I mean, if you started calling clubs, you could get booked doing road work
Theoretically.
easily. I think that you obviously could.
Yeah.
But is it a function of you going? I don't.
a lot
It's
of times.
not really something I want to do.
Here's what'll happen is I'll be like, man, I got to get on the road more. I want to write more stuff and like polish this material that I've worked on because that's been my process for the last like almost 20 years.
Right.
So I'll get excited and then I'll like write down a list of clubs. Maybe I'll email a couple and then I'll go on Instagram and I'll just see 3 videos in a row of like a comedian getting screamed at.
Right.
Or getting a beer chucked at them.
Right.
Or babysitting. And I'm like, oh,
Or
right.
a YouTuber who the clubs are kind of getting used to YouTubers now putting asses in seats.
Yeah. Or
People who might not have an act, they'll do 45 minutes of Q&A.
Right.
But the people are buying drinks and jalapeno poppers.
Which is
so.
what really matters for the club.
Right, if you're the club, that's
good
what
on them,
matters.
man.
But
Right.
it's like that's not something that comics had to contend with 20 years ago.
Right.
Was fighting for bookings with YouTubers.
And I don't try to get on the road that hard.
Right.
We did that nice little run down in North Carolina.
See, that's
that was
what I like.
very fun. That was a good time. It was when everything was flooding.
Yeah.
it was still really fun.
And then I was headlining in Cincinnati, and it was the night that the Bengals were
Thursday
playing
night football game.
Yeah, Bengals
Oh,
versus
God.
Dolphins, and they were like unleashing a new jersey.
Colorway. Yeah.
Yeah, so nobody showed up to
Yeah.
the show, and the MC didn't show up.
It was
I
just
was like,
you.
"Who's hosting?"
It was me and Jim, and we drove to the club, and the person that was booked to host the show was like, I'm not even gonna go. I'm not even gonna
Wow.
go.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
so stuff like that turns me off to it a little bit. But then we had a great time in North Carolina.
In North Carolina, it was very, very fun.
So like going on the road with Bill,
Yeah.
doing stuff like that. That's what I love. Or I'll go and I'll open for Todd Barry
Yeah.
from time to time, and like doing runs with him. Or
Just
like,
going out and sitting in a Holiday Inn by yourself is not the pinnacle of, I mean, that's not,
No,
it's probably not worth your time, maybe.
yeah, that's my guess. I mean, I guess you know.
Yeah, being able to go on the road, especially after all these years, with somebody that you have a good time with, like that was almost like a vacation. Like we were on. Like,
Oh yeah,
we got paid, and but it was like I was just as excited to get done with the shows and go back to the Airbnb.
yeah.
And have some drinks and tell some stories with Jim. Like, what did we
Yeah.
ended up watching that night? We watched some
Oh
like
man,
movie on
it was a really
Netflix.
bad movie. It was like, oh, I can't remember what it was.
San Andreas with The Rock,
It was
No, it was older.
It was like an old movie.
Towering
that-
Inferno with
Old
The Rock.
action movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
It wasn't. The Rock wasn't in it, Alan.
He wasn't it. He should be in everything. All right.
Yeah,
But we had a
just-
good time,
we had a
and then
great
we like
time.
watched the footage from our sets and just
Mhm.
like giggled. You know,
right.
that's the way to do the road.
Having fun.
Just two 4-year-old men
Yeah.
giggling at each other's jokes.
Just like in a really nice Airbnb,
and low stakes, and it's fun to go out and
Yeah.
have fun.
really just spending our
that
profits.
was a cool city. Asheville is a fun city.
Asheville's awesome.
Yeah,
I
I
took
like
Jim
Asheville.
sneaker shopping. I showed him some of the stuff that I was after, and he's just like, "You paid that much money for these?" And I was like, "Sort of."
I walked in there
Mhm.
with my boots on, my sensible waterproof boots.
hmm And you were up against a sneakerhead over here.
Yeah.
Nothing sensible about those
No,
shoes.
not at all.
How's married life?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. How long now? 3 years, 4 years?
No,
Two?
about
Two.
two.
All right.
About a year and a half.
Yeah, it hasn't even been two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, married life's pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
But we work from home together.
Okay, so she's at home all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is we've gotten used
But you
to
did that
it.
before you got me, like you, right? That wasn't pandemic
Not-
induced. That was
no, we didn't.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
worked from home when I was in town.
Yeah.
But then she had an office, and then like she went out on her
Oh.
own. So she was home for a little bit, and then the pandemic hit, and then we were like really home.
wow.
But we got it figured out. We
Yeah.
just,
Just no kids screaming. It's you and the
No.
cats.
us and the one cat and my dog.
Yeah.
You know, the word. I mean, like my cat has a UTI. That's what we're dealing with right now. But that's not like a
Man,
kid.
his life is relatable to Mary's.
Well, I think it's like anybody that has cats, they all kind of have the same thread of stories.
Yeah.
Right? Because cats
Yeah.
are prone to getting certain things.
Right.
And,
UTIs.
yeah. And I
From having sex too much.
those cats, you know what?
Yeah, you gotta
gotta
keep
keep 'em
after
in-
the sex, cat.
Yeah.
You gotta pee after you.
You
do
can't
it.
let them out in the stairwell. There's all kinds of nasty action going on out there. So Hilarities tonight, one
Yeah,
show.
one show only.
And then what happens? You hang out for St. Patty's
I
Day.
quit comedy.
Hey, you heard it here. Breaking news.
This is my last waltz.
Jim Tews quitting
We're
comedy.
filming it.
Are you playing with the stepdads?
I'm gonna play with this. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I'm
quit
so
comedy
bummed
yet.
I'm going to miss that, by the
I'm
way.
gonna play with the stepdads.
Stepdads of Galway,
tomorrow.
Mike Polk and Aaron McBride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. This is where I'm at in my career now. I was like, I want to go back to Cleveland for
It's
St.
kind of
Pat's.
become a tradition over the past few years where you come back into town,
Yeah,
headline Hilarities, and then play with Polk and
What,
the
for St.
stepdads of
Patty's Day,
Galway.
or
Yeah.
just-
I didn't headline. I didn't get to do it the same weekend last time, but I was like, priority is the St. Pat's thing.
Yeah.
And then I contacted Hilarities, and I was like, Do
You
have
worked
that?
backwards.
I worked
Yeah.
backwards
Right.
because I deserve it.
Mm-hmm. And then you go back home on Sunday or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I go and I do a lot of animation stuff during.
Is
the day
that
now.
what you would do if you finally woke up and you were like, I don't want to do comedy anymore. I'm tired of whatever.
Yeah,
Tired of X, Y, and Z. Who knows what that is? Would it just be animation for you?
it would be. I like writing,
Yeah.
and I can draw. So, but the writing thing is why I like to do stand up.
Have you
I don't
written
have
for other
any sort
people?
of stage presence. I like
No,
to-
but that's like part of your thing too. I mean, you don't have to be, you don't have to be a dynamic performer.
no.
You just have to be funny,
Yeah.
right? And you are. So, but have you written for other people?
I've never written for other comics.
You haven't written for like a show or anything like
I've
that.
written for. I've like sat in for. They did like guy code versus girl code.
Okay.
You know, like I've sat
And
in.
which
and
one were
done,
you?
Like I was both.
Both.
Depended on the
They
day.
needed a Switzerland on that show,
I was
and in
fluid.
came Jim Tews. Yeah.
But yeah, I've done stuff like that here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But I would probably make really dumb, weird animations if I had it to myself.
Mhm.
But then I like performing.
Right.
I like to see the faces of the people.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
the immediacy of it. When you're working on an animation, it's great, and they're very.
It's very lonely.
It's very lonely,
Right.
and then
And
you
repetitive.
get out there and like tell jokes and having that immediate call and response. It's fantastic.
Right.
There's really nothing better when
No.
it comes to just that immediate rush.
Listen, I've tried to tell people over the years, people who go into comedy, I say, look, that instant gratification is amazing, right? It might be better, though, for your mental health if, as a comedian, you focus on delayed gratification. If you can find a way for them to laugh at the prior joke as you're telling the next joke, right?
Yeah.
That would be a whole new arena for people to perform in.
Edging stand up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grenade comedy.
yeah.
You just throw it and then it explodes and then they laugh.
Well, I have to say, my favorite, because, over the years, you start to feel like people's different kinds of laughs. Like, when you're getting something really genuine from somebody, or if the crowd's just in a good mood, or, there's just these different.
There's like colors and shapes to them.
Yeah. My favorite kind of laugh is the like stifled one at first, and then it like draws out a little bit, like they were still thinking about the last thing you said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just unpacking
And it's
something
just
in them, and
unpacking,
they go, and it
And
just builds.
If I'm getting those laughs, it's great, but it usually means that other people just aren't laughing.
Right.
But I'll have like 5 people.
If you can
that
hear
are-
that person,
Right.
But yeah.
But I have like 5 people laughing like that,
Mhm.
and then
Sometimes that's all you need.
that's all I.
You can play to them. Right.
Yeah.
If you got 5 people, it's better than Cincinnati on a Thursday night.
Oof,
Hey, luckily for you, there's no new Browns jersey getting dropped tonight.
man.
So you're going to be in good shape over at Hilarities.
It'll be something else.
Yeah.
I was in the airport, and a bunch of tall dudes in workout gear started sitting down, and then they started talking about basketball, and I was like, "Oh, these are basketball players," but I don't.
Well, they were
know
like
any.
pro basketball players.
Well, I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I see like the Nets logo,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Oh, are these Nets flying to Cleveland?" And then I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, that's
They're not there
It's
here
unlikely.
tonight. Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
unlikely."
They have their own plane.
And then I see one of the guys' tags on his luggage says Pippin, and I'm like, "Oh, I know that name, like the Scotty." And then I Google like Pippin Nets, and it was G League. It was the Long Island Nets.
Mhm.
Oh, there
the
you go.
Long Island Nets.
Long
All
Island
right.
Nets,
All right.
everybody's
Well, they
favorite.
were, yeah.
They'll be playing the Cleveland Rush tonight,
Charge.
Or
The
Cleveland Charge, yeah.
or tonight or tomorrow. I don't know. Whatever night, So
don't promote their stuff. Promote your
go
show,
ahead and
dum-dum.
check out the Long Island Nets and Scottie Pippen's
Yeah, record
nephew.
attendance here tonight for the Charge game. After
Yeah.
Jim Tews. Gets
I do
everybody-
this to myself,
If
I
you're
did that in
if you're a
Cincinnati, too.
Long Island expat who finds yourself now living in Cleveland, but you
Right.
really miss the Long Island Nets, boy, are you in luck tonight.
I
Are
was
you featuring for Tews? Are you doing on this tonight, Bill?
No, I'm not on that show.
All right.
But I'll probably not
Come
go
watch.
and watch either. 'Cause
Come watch.
I have my own show going.
You're going to
on.
the Cleveland Charge, aren't you?
I'm going to the Cleveland Charge. I'm going to Chargers Nets. It's
just-
their biggest rival.
Yeah.
You got to be there for it. It's
Charge Nets. And we wait all year for this game.
where
Come on.
are you guys playing with Stepdads of Galway?
The Winchester?
Winchester.
Winchester.
Yeah.
What time's
I
that
think
get
that's at
going?
4?
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll still be over at the Cleveland.
Yeah,
game.
we're doing a broadcast at the Clevelanders. If you want to come out at 10 a.m.,
Yeah.
get things rolling.
Ooh.
We'll
You're not
be
going to be
there.
doing anything at 10 a.m. like sleeping or anything like that. I mean,
I probably won't be. I get up,
all right.
I get up at crack at 9:30 now.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I can't sleep that late.
You go for like a run, or I know people who are like, "Oh, I got up at like noon." I'm like, "Oh my god, I could
No.
never do that." Like,
I never was able to do that. I stay up late and then I don't because I
Still
can't
can't
fall
sleep,
asleep, but I
yeah.
still
Right. still wake up early.
I get up and walk my
You
dog.
should have kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I could handle it.
That'll
but,
keep you from
know.
being tired. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're retired anyway, might as well have a
Right.
kid.
If I'm keeping those terrible hours,
Yeah.
might as well throw a kid into the mix.
Mm-hmm. That'll solve a lot of issues.
Yeah.
But you guys aren't going to have any, right? I mean, was that
not in the plan?
was that agreed upon? I think it has
Yeah.
to be, right? You got to go,
Yeah,
hey,
that
look,
was-
we're not 22. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that was from the jump. I mean, we got together. We were like in our 30s, but she was like, "Yeah, I'm not into this," and I was like, "Cool." I never really cared.
Right.
And now here.
And
we
from
are.
there it blossomed.
From there, it blossomed.
Yes, into its full
Yeah,
effervescence.
much to the disappointment of my parents, probably.
Well,
but
do you have siblings?
I do. I have 3 sisters.
So your parents have grandchildren.
Well, they're from different marriages and stuff.
Oh,
so
they
like,
are,
one-
okay.
Like my mom won't have grandkids,
Mm-hmm.
because of me.
Because it was all the pressure was all on you,
Specifically,
And a falling out.
and you flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a lot going on. But I do have my dad has a granddaughter, but she lives in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
She's an adorable German baby.
that's a grand Fraulein, I believe, is what.
Grandfrau.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm learning German.
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
trying to. Ich lerne
Du
Deutsch.
hast. Du hast your nose.
Yeah.
Auf Wiedersehen. Jim Tews is at Hilarities tonight for one show.
And he's learning German.
And he's
'Cause he
learning German. He's
a
going to try it
niece.
out on you.
And he's not because
So-
he's into fascism or anything.
Right. He's just a history buff.
You have to clarify.
He's a buff of many things, including history. So Mach Schnell to the
Yeah.
to Hilarities tonight, 7 o'clock show. You can go to pickwickandfrolic.com for the info. Your parting words, Jim Tews, to this audience. You'd like to leave them with what? Could be words of wisdom. It could be a personal mantra. It could be a promotion of something.
Go Charge.
There you go. Beat those Nets of Long Island. Well, it's good to see you, pal.
Thank you.
Thanks for
having
coming
me
in. All right, let me take a break here. If you want to text for anything,